The tile was cold through my shoes. Airports always smell like bleach and hurry. I was in the middle stall. Door latched, breathing shallow. When I heard his laugh slice the room. Open, familiar, confident, too. Loud for a place meant for echoes and shame. He was on the phone. No, not a phone speaker. He wanted witnesses. She's bored, he said, like it was weather. I fixed that. Her husband's a relic. I recognized the cadence before the words finished landing. My partner. My friend. The man who toasted my wedding and shook my father's hand. The man who taught me to read balance sheets like maps. I didn't move. I didn't cough. I let him keep talking. He bragged the way men do when they think he untouchable. He named hotels. He joked about flights. He said my wife's name once, carelessly, like a receipt tossed away. I remember the hum of hand dryers. The clack of heels outside. The way my pulse slowed instead of spiked. That was the shift. Pain had done its job. Planning took over. We built our lives together. Not Chemaifandi, him and his wife. Dinners that ran late. Vacations that blurred into tradition. I trusted him with access, with votes, with silence. I trusted her with my mornings, my passwords, my blind spots. The betrayal didn't explode. It seeped. That's worse. Seepage ruins foundations. I left the bathroom without washing my hands. I don't know why that detail stayed. Maybe because cleanliness felt like a lie. Suspicion becomes proof when you stop asking for comfort. I stopped. I installed logging software quietly. I learned the difference between deletion and absence. I watched calendars fill and empty. I took notes the way surgeons do clean, unemotional. I hired a forensic accountant under a shell. LLC. I met a lawyer who didn't ask me how I felt. The thing about revenge is that it doesn't need rage. Rage leaks. Structure doesn't. He thought he owned the company because he ran it. He forgot who funded the quiet years. He forgot that control is often written in footnotes and trusts that sound like retirements but behave like hammers. He forgot that I prefer to be underestimated. I consolidated. I moved assets into a trust designed to be boring. Boring is camouflage. The trust had teeth contingent. Voting rights triggered by morality clauses. He'd signed when he wanted my capital more than my conscience. Clauses nobody reads when times are good. I waited. The moment came in a glass office with a skyline pretending to care. You're outdated, he hissed, leaning back in my chair like it had always been his. We're done here. I nodded, understood. That was the moment. The retirement trust activated its voting rights. By Monday morning, the board convened an emergency meeting. Panic loves calendars. The question hung in the room, confused and embarrassed. Who just fired the person who owns 76% of the shares? I watched faces fold. I watched my wife's phone light up in my pocket. I'd taken it weeks earlier. Swapped it during a movie night. Left it charging like a gift. I didn't check the messages. I didn't need the sound of her scrambling to sweeten the silence. Execution is never loud if you do it right. The CEO was placed on administrative leave pending investigation. The investigation had weight, emails, expense reports, access logs, patterns that don't lie. His wife learned last. I didn't orchestrate that. Gravitied. The confrontation wasn't cinematic. Was small. In our kitchen. Morning light. Coffee cooling. She tried to cry before I spoke. I let the quiet stretch until it was honest. I know, I said. Not accusing, informing. She reached for me like habit. I stepped back like practice. I slid the phone across the counter. I didn't need to say his name. She saw it everywhere. Power doesn't raise its voice. It changes the room. The fallout was efficient. Divorce papers filed the same day as the board resolution. The trust assumed interim control. His name came off the building by Friday. Investors hate uncertainty. They love inevitability. I gave them a timeline and a scapegoat. He provided the rest. He tried to call me once. Lahingi. He sent a message that tried to sound contrite and landed hollow. I archived it. That's the last place weak things go. At the airport, weeks later, I used the same bathroom. Different stall. Chili's. I washed my hands this time. I looked at myself in the mirror and checked. For regret like you check for a fever. Nothing. Justice isn't about spectacle. It's about balance. I didn't destroy him. I removed the scaffolding that held him up while he climbed over me. I boarded my flight with a new itinerary. The company would be fine. Always was. I just remembered who owned the map. Silence had been my weapon. Structure my shield. When the plane lifted, I closed my eyes and let the engines hum. Not relief. Closure. Some people mistake kindness for weakness. I mistake patience for timing.